Hey guys, EBPMAN here, and it is Samsung Week, and we have another product to unbox and review. Today we're taking a look at the Galaxy Watch Active. Let's do the unboxing and check it out. Now on our channel, we have featured every Samsung Galaxy Watch product since the launch of the first Galaxy Watch. So today we're taking a look at the rose gold version of the Galaxy Watch Active. We're going to do the unboxing, we're going to talk about the specs, we'll see how the startup process is, and then we'll tell you why you may want to consider this as your next wearable. Let's get right to it.
Make sure you hit the subscribe button and tap the little bell icon to get notified when new videos become available.
Now first, before we do the unboxing, let's take a look at some of the specs here so you can see what you can expect from this product. First of all, this is a very, very lightweight watch, and I'll tell you, having handled it at Samsung Impact, it feels very much like, I would say, the Apple Watch, where it wasn't as heavy as the Classic or even this version of the Galaxy Watch. It was more like jewelry in my opinion. It's also much smaller, so for those of you who have smaller wrists, or for those of you who feel that you thought that the other watches were just too large, this is a 40mm watch, so it's going to be much smaller on your wrist, and we're going to see that in a couple seconds. Now, in addition to being lightweight, it does have the ability to have a heart rate tracking and a GPS solution. It is not cellular in any way, so this is dependent on your phone, but it does have onboard memory that's going to allow you to store music so that you can use it and connect a Bluetooth headphone to it, especially if you're going to use it for a run. It does have the ability to go underwater, so up to 50 meters. So if you are an avid swimmer, someone who really enjoys swimming, you'll be able to do that as well. Now, for those of you who are really curious about the specs, let's talk about some other specs for a second. The product is available in several colors. So you have the black, you have the gold, you also have a silver, and also a green. So you have those colors right there. So again, black, silver, rose gold, and green. Now what we have here is the rose gold. It's something that Nilda really likes this watch, so she's going to end up with this one. And the weight is just 25 grams, so really, really lightweight. Now from a resolution perspective, it's pretty much on par with this watch here. So you're looking at 360 by 360. Battery life is up to 45 hours. And I can tell you, I can go an entire week with this watch, and I get tons of text messages and alerts. All my meetings show up on this watch, and I've been able to get a week. So this watch, a little bit smaller, but still is going to give you 45 hours worth of use. You have 4 gigabytes of internal memory, so that's for storage, right? And 75 for RAM. So you're going to be able to put a decent amount of music on this. Now, one of the things about this watch that I'll just highlight is that it does not have an onboard speaker. So you're not going to be able to use it to listen to music. You can use this watch to activate your phone for phone calls, but once again, you're not speaking to the watch when you're making the phone calls. So it becomes a remote control to control your music. It becomes a remote control to your phone to make phone calls, but you still need your phone to make that phone call, and you need the earbuds connected to your phone when doing that phone call. The only exception is if you have onboard music, you can use the watch independent of your phone to listen to music if you're going on a run or a jog. So that's a good thing. So let's get right to the unboxing. All right, so very simple product unboxing. Once we open it up, you notice a couple things that you see. The rose gold version, and we'll just put this over to the side. You also then have an extra strap, and this strap is for those of you who may have, let's say, thicker wrists and would like to be able to have a watch band that's a little bit longer. And if we compare it right here, you'll notice how the watch band is longer, right? So it's going to give you that extra length, especially if you're dealing with a larger wrist. And then as we pop this open, you'll notice we have a charging puck. So this puck is very reminiscent to what you see from the Apple Watch. So it's not a docking station or a cradle. It's just something that will connect here to the very bottom. It's magnetic, so you can see, as I attach it right here, it has kind of a little magnet to it that's going to put it in place. And you notice that I can really, just release it, it's going to stay in place. So this is going to give you the ability to charge it. Now the charging cord has USB standard as a connector. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to power up the watch, and then we're going to go ahead and connect it. So a lot of the things are happening with the watches nowadays, and just overall with the bands. The watches themselves, using Samsung's SmartThings type technology, are really intelligent. So we saw this with the actual Galaxy Buds, where you open it up and the watch recognizes, or the phone recognizes that they're present. The same thing is going to be true with this one. Now, before we connect it, let's take a look at some other features that we have here. So what we have is a silicone band. So I would say almost, it's a very soft silicone, very comfortable on the wrist, hyperallergenic kind of stuff. So you should have no problem with this. As we flip it over here to the side, you'll notice that you have your power button and your back button. You flip this over, you have your heart rate sensor, and it's a very accurate and fast heart rate sensor from what I tested at the show. And then what you have is something that's going to be able to use for swimming. So there's really nothing else to this. And if we were to compare this watch to this one, so this is the one that Nola's currently wearing, right? And you notice it's side by side. You notice that it doesn't have the rotating bezel, so there's no bezel, so it's going to be swipe left and right. I actually am a huge fan of the bezel. I think this is the best interface out there for a watch, but we'll see how this will work. And then as we look at the side, let's flip it to the side, you notice how significantly thinner it is. Again, this has a larger battery, and it has a little different look to it, but we're just looking at all the features so you can see the differences that right there. All right. This actually has a leather band that we reviewed on the channel, but you'll notice that they're both rose gold. And we'll flip it this way so you can see it that way, and then we'll flip it over. All right. So depending on the style that you want and how you want it on your wrist, you're gonna go with one or the other. So let me show you how it looks on the wrist. So what I'll do is I'll first start with this one. Okay. And you notice how this looks on the wrist. All right. And now let's switch to this one. Significant difference in size, right? So it's going to be, and it actually feels lighter, right? It feels lighter, feels very comfortable. Just a really, really good feel to it. I really can't express how good it feels on the wrist. So if you go to a store and you can try one on, you'll see what I'm talking about. And I think it really has to do with the weight and just how things are distributed on the watch. So let's go ahead and power this watch up, and then what we'll do is we'll connect it to our phone. All right, so one of the things that you'll notice is that as soon as we went into the app, it recognized that there was a watch present. It's actually vibrating and notifying. This is a brand new S10, so we hadn't really connected our previous watch or started the application. But I can tell you, for another watch that I just synced, as soon as the watch was on, the actual phone recognized it. So you'll notice that it's vibrating, letting us know, and we're just going to hit connect. And right now what's going to happen is they're going to start syncing up. Now, as soon as you get your watch and you sync it to the phone, the first thing that you'll notice is that there is an upgrade. So what we're going to do is go through the upgrade process, we'll update the software, and then we'll do a brief overview of the watch. All right, so as I mentioned, you can see that the update's going to come across. It's a 36 megabyte upgrade. It's going to take you about, I would say, 10 minutes is the process, is what I've experienced. Download is pretty fast. We have good connectivity here, but then the actual update process, expect to invest about 10 minutes. Now, you do have the choice to either do it now or later, so you don't have to do it immediately, but for the sake of this review, I want to make sure you have the most current version of the software. Also, obviously, they're addressing some things here. So they're improving the usability of Samsung Health, and then also the wireless charging has been improved. So it's really important to do the updates. And one of the things I can tell you that from my experience having a Galaxy Watch is that Samsung does a really good job of updating their devices. So you'll see that this is going to start to update. The other thing is, as it goes through the update process, I'll highlight 68% battery, so that's pretty good. Out of the box, your watch is going to have battery. In the past, that could have been a challenge. You'll notice here how much space is free. So you have we lost it. You have some space available for storage, which is pretty decent. And then obviously there's a lot of other features that you're seeing here with your Galaxy Store, Samsung Health, your SmartThings. All those things are pretty cool. So right now we're going to let the watch update. You see the update process going, and then we'll just come to it once it's been updated. All right, guys, so the update looks that it's been completed. So what we're going to do is just go over the watch just for a couple seconds so you can see what you can expect. So what it's going to do, it's going to walk you through kind of some steps, how to use the watch. And what we're doing here is just going through those steps. So you notice how it's asking you to swipe left, swipe right. So it's a tutorial in a sense, so that you learn how to use it. The back button, the home key, you can see that. And then these are your apps. You can see these are all your toggles that are going to control everything. If you want to turn off the screen, you put your hand on top of the screen and then you remove it, and then that's it. Now, going to go ahead and hit OK, or press that checkbox. And then you can see here that you have daily activities, so you can see everything that's going on with your fitness. We'll go ahead, and all this stuff, since it's the first time that we're using it, it's probably going to go a little bit slower as we activate some of these things. So let's tap that again so we can see what that looks like. We'll give it a second to just freshen up. So again, here it's looking at several activities throughout what you've been doing. If you've been moving hourly, what your workout is and what your activities are. We'll go ahead and hit back. You have also application shortcuts. You have all of your fitness routines, and you notice one of them is swimming. You can do stress test. You can also check your heart rate. So if I put it on my wrist, let's see how quickly this is going to measure heart rate. So just so you can see that. So it's going. And remember, this is the first time that everything has been turned on. So hopefully this will give us a sense of what kind of performance we're going to get. So we'll switch over again. So it looks like it's measuring everything. So this is probably going to take a little bit longer than normal because it's doing a stress test. It's doing the heart rate all at once. All right, there it goes. So there's our heart rate. Let's go ahead and test it one more time. So we're going to go back and we're going to try that heart rate once more just to see how quickly we'll do it. And it looks like it's very fast. You see how it's changing and it's adjusting. So this is pretty good. It's very, very, very fast. So over here you can do the weather. You can look at your calendars, and then you can add widgets. And there's a lot of things that you can do. So as you swipe over, you can notice you can have app shortcuts, you can have contacts, you have a music player, obviously, either to work as a remote control or to control the actual music on the phone. You have reminders, calories burned. Some of these things we've seen with the other Galaxy watches. So really, really smooth interface. We'll go ahead and hit back. And we'll go home now. You can change all your watch faces too, so you can go from this one to something that looks like this, right? And this is going to show you, again, your steps, date, all your fitness. And then the neat thing about it is that I really like the Samsung watches over Apple because they actually look like watches. I'll tell you, for all things, I think the hardware is really good looking, the Apple Watch, but the watch faces are horrific. Really don't care for them, and I wish there was more customization options to make this look more like a watch. And you can see a lot of these things here are aesthetically a lot better looking than you would have. And there's a lot of other watch faces that you can choose. So guys, so that is the Galaxy Watch Active. We're going to have full tutorials on the channel. Make sure you subscribe. Let me know what you'd like to learn about the watch. Leave it in the comment area below, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.